ball is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. They'll start on the ground. Hall, a nice little juke. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's a pickup of 11 and a first down on their first offensive play. Well, there you go. This offense off to a strong start this afternoon.
Yeah, with a big run and a first down. That's putting what you practice into play. That's excellent execution to get things started.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Rodgers. He gets it underneath to Hall. Just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up 2nd down. The Jets at 2-1 now to start the campaign. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Hall on a give up the middle. And he'll pick up about 3 there, up to the 43. But you look at this Bronco defense, they've certainly had their struggles against the run. The 30th ranked unit out of 32 teams in the NFL.
The numbers are definitely not in their favor, but every time I click on the film and watch them, I see stretches where they play against the run really well. Their biggest problem, when they give up those explosive runs, those 30, 40, 50-yard runs, that'll really mess up your averages.
Now Rodgers. That is incomplete.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on 3rd down. And 3rd down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a 4th down.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. Now it's Nix. He'll get that complete to Vele. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a 1st down. Nix to the air. Got him in. It's Tyquan Thornton. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. This defense for the Jets, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can poll all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there'd be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
Here we go.
Running the jet sweep, Thornton. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. Stopped in his tracks by Ahmad Gardner. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
From the 39-yard line, here comes 2nd down at 6. Thornton, the motion man right. And they'll get it forward to him on the touch pass. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a 1st.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on it before he could get much out of it.
3rd and 4. Mims in motion left. To throw, here's Nix. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. And the Broncos are going to have a new set of downs. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Here we go, set. Ready?
Throwing, Nix. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Williams. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1. On the sneak, it's Nix, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. Bo Nix hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. This is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now Rodgers. Flush to his right. Rodgers sliding to a stop with a 1st down. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him to 1st. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
Check 30. Inside.
Rodgers going to throw. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. And credit the tackle to Brandon Jones. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from MetLife Stadium. The Jets with the football here as they've got it 2nd and 7. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Now it's Rodgers. And that will be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
So Rodgers will depart, and on is Greg Zuerlein for the Jets field goal. Zuerlein's kick is up and through. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And able to get this out to the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Right side, Thornton with it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down. They'll go play action with Nix. And he gets this to Thornton. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. The rookie from Oregon on target with that one. It leads to a first down. So in Jet territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Operating from the gun. Here's Nix. That is caught by Vele. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 11 more on that one and another first down. Off the draw, here's Williams. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Here's 2nd and 4 from the 24. Thornton, the motion man right. And he'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass. A great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. And 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. They'll bring a receiver in motion left. To throw is Nix. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. And the Jets will take over possession here up at the 44. That pick hurts a little extra because it was third down. You were already in field goal range.
You know what he's going to hear all night, all next week? Situational football. Understand what's going on, because you expressed it perfectly. 3 points were in their hip pocket. They had those. Now, those went by the wayside. You cannot make those kind of mistakes.
It's what you call a rookie mistake. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. This is caught at the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Garrett Wilson, 56 yards. And the Jets have taken the lead. Zerline good with a PAT. And the lead is now 10-7. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And he's going to be stopped cold. Good coverage there by the kick team to bring that return to an abrupt halt. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Let's go now.
Here's Nix. Throw left side complete to Troutman. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Here we go, set.
Operating from the gun. Nix. Throw right side complete to Williams. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
Let's go.
Nix to throw again. Screen play set up for Williams. And he's got this down to the 35. Giving back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on third down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Here comes the seventh play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Back to the air with Nix. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Jets are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Hall again. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 44 yards rushing for him now to this point.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And check down complete to Hall. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so he can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Liz. Hey, 88.
Throwing is Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
50. Hey, you block.
They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Taking in left side, it's Wilson. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Yeah, even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for a Jet first down, a gain of 13.
Well, they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
He gets this to Devontae Adams. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1.
Mike.
Lazard will go in motion right. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. Boy, an effective play there, getting their wideouts involved in the run game.
And what they're always hoping on that type of a play, that they can get to the end of the line and have a chance to turn it upfield as he did there. That means they controlled the blocking and took care of the defensive end or the outside linebacker to give him that lane.
And I guess I need to clarify, I said getting their wideouts involved in the run game, but of course that was actually a pass as he popped it forward. Rodgers tapping this forward on the jet sweep. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Now Rodgers going to shift him around.
Hey, take 26. We didn't get that.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Allen Lazard as the first half is winding down. And the Jets would extend their lead here just before halftime. Zerline connects on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when we decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Now it's Nix. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. A final shot before break. Nix. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. A 10-point game, 17-7 the score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And we will not see a return of the dynamic kickoff. And the first drive of the second half will commence from the 30-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now fourth down.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. A 41-yard punt there with no return.
And the Jets will take over.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis.
On first down, right back to Hall. He'll get this up to about the 44.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
They'll set up the screen for Hall.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Well, they were setting up the screen, CD, a lot of free runners, and they got there late, and the penalty ensued.
Yeah, somehow it didn't get into their brains that it was a screen, right? Instead of pulling off and chasing the ball downfield, they kept going towards the quarterback and knocked him down way late. That draws the penalty flag each and every time.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They'll go again with Hall.
And he'll get a couple here down to the 22.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Back north.
Here's Rodgers. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Alex Singleton making the play defensively.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz, and the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7.
So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And from the 41, this is 2nd and a yard. Nix to the air. This one swung out to Williams.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Here we go, set.
On play action, here's Nix.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack.
Jermaine Johnson.
Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is, will he be able to bounce back in the next one? Because right now, this has not been his game.
A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
To throw, here's Nix.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Fielded just inside the 20. They'll score that a 36-yard punt. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already.
Here's Hall again. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Now 2nd and 9. Straight ahead is Hall.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Still needing 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down.
6:30.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Working from the gun, Rodgers. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. 35 yards that time on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Throwing Nix.
Escaping the pressure right. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Nix. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done.
It's another first down as this time they get an even 20.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Okay, ready?
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4.
Back to throw. Nix. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Nix.
That is caught. And he will have the Broncos first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Back to throw again.
Right side, Thornton with it.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Ready up.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Come on.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And Williams is going to be stopped short of the yellow line. He did not get there. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a 1st down.
Well, we got beef eaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu, I'll tell you that much for free. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
They'll go for it. Here's Nix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10.
Let's go now. Ready?
Off the play fake. Nix.
On the move to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Warriors 17. Here we go. Set.
To throw is Nix. Slant route, and he finds Thornton.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score.
Tyquan Thornton
From 13 yards out.
And the Broncos have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th.
Lutz with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And not willing to risk a return. This ball's going to come out to the 30-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback, because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Here's a give to Hall.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13.
Jump out!
Rodgers going to throw.
A short throw to Conklin, the tight end.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it, and they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for 2nd down. If they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up, that'd be the time to do it.
So the ball moves from their own 41 to the other 41 here for 1st and 10.
We are going. Inside.
The slot man in motion right.
He's going to handle it on the touch pass.
And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Get 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300. 300.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. A handoff for Hall. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They're facing a critical third down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Yeah, Liz.
Now Rodgers. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Nick Bonito coming in there to record the sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. That's returnable now for Smith. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
And they will take over first and 10.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle. Kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Buying time to his left.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need him to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes a correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the first down with his legs instead.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10.
Go!
They'll look to throw.
That's caught by Thornton.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Plenty of time to work with here, but the timeouts, they're gone. Here's 1st and 10.
He's back to throw.
A throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
But just over a minute to go in the football game. 2nd and 10.
He'll look to throw. Steps away to his left.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play, but in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Back to throw. Flushed out right. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered the loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So for the Giants, they're on a